So
Okay.
everything lines up.
And I had another person, is it Miss Burton? Is she part of this? No. Teresa Burton, is that for something else? Do any of you know who a Teresa Burton is? Is that somebody that's working on with you guys on the case? All right, if whoever is there on Zoom for Alan Bell, this is cause number 14-18993.
Hello, Your Honor. This is Edith Ugu with Bethany Living.
Thank you, ma'am. And can you spell your name for the court reporter, please?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Can you please repeat that?
Could you spell your name for the court reporter, please?
Yes, my first name is Edith, spelled as E for Edward, D for David, I for India, T for Tom, H for house. And the last name is Ugu, spelled as U for uncle, G for Godwin, W for Wilson, U for uncle.
And it's pronounced Yuglu. Is that correct? Was that close?
Yes.
Thank you.
Very close. Thank you.
Thank you. And you are with who, ma'am?
Bethany Living. B as in boy, E as in Edward, T as in Tom, H as in house, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, Y as in Yolanda. Bethany Living. Living like in living room, living.
Yes. Bethany Living. Okay. And then I can see there you are. I was about to say I can see part of a face. And so would you please state your name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. I am Lisa, Lisa Chapman, Chapman. I am Community Integration Project. We are a recovery management entity for the HCBSAMH program for Medicaid state of Texas.
Thank you. And then we've got one more.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I had to move my camera. My name's Alicia Massengill. I'm the social worker here at Rustic Hospital for Mr. Bell.
And what was your last name, Alicia?
Massengill, Massingill.
Got it. And you're at Rusk.
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Yugu, you are the one who is at the potential placement. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. And I'll tell you more about it whenever you're ready for me.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Bethany Living is the provider agency that will be managing all his services, starting from housing to the list that you can think of. Pretty much like a
so
yes.
Let me do this real quick. I'm going to take judicial notice of the court's file. We started this hearing a few weeks ago. Mr. Bell signed a waiver of to be here in person, and Mr. Parker is here on his behalf. And Mr. Parker, you still join in that waiver, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Malfino is here for the state. Mr. Bell was found not guilty by reason of insanity many years ago and has been at Rusk for quite some time. The most recent, reports from Rusk are that Mr. Bell is at a place in his recovery where he could be considered for some type of less restrictive placement. Is that correct? You're muted.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, Ms. Massengill, you're there at Rusk, and you guys have made that recommendation. I guess the question that I have and want to make sure of that what I'm understanding is where exactly, what placement or what place would we be talking about? I understand that Bethany Living would be the ones that are looking at that, but where's the, I guess, physical location? Is it a house? Is it what can y'all tell me, or who would be best to tell me about that?
It is a home in Beaumont, and Edith would have the address.
Okay, and I'm not going to make you, I guess, at this point,
I have it as well on my sheet.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I have the address as well, but it's in Beaumont.
It is? Okay. And so what I'd like to do, I guess for all three of you, I'm going to go through, and Ms. Malfino, if you have any questions, I'm going to allow you to do that. But I want to ask each of you individually if you all believe that based on the history and based on where Mr. Bell is now with regard to Rusk and being medication compliant and things like that, if you believe that it would be in the best interest of him, and then second, the best interest of our community, that he be released to that placement. And so let me start with Ms. Massengill there at Rusk. What are your thoughts on that, ma'am?
So while he's here, I've been his social worker for approximately 2 years, might be a little bit longer than that. Time flies sometimes. He follows all the rules. I know occasionally there'll be blips because at the hospital, if you take Synthroid, you have to get up for your medication at 5 a.m. And in the free world, you don't have to get up at 5 a.m. 7 days a week, 365 days a year to take Synthroid. You can wait a little bit longer and eat breakfast later, but they have a very strict schedule here, right? And so they have medication and then breakfast. Synthroid is an hour before breakfast, and then all the classes and programming. He attends everything. He takes all of his medications. He follows all the rules. He does go off campus sometimes with staff and peers to off campus events. He's been able to go to Walmart successfully multiple times since they started that. He's gone to restaurants with staff and peers. He does really well. He does have support of his family members, especially his sister. He stays in touch with multiple family members via phone and video chat through the work cell phone.
Are those family members here local, still in Beaumont? The
I don't know
sister?
if they're all in Beaumont. They're all in Jefferson County, but I don't know if they're all in Beaumont.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know their addresses specifically. I think some of them stay in Port Arthur, but they're all local. Yes, ma'am. And
Okay.
so as far as Mr. Bell, the one thing he always says is he wants to walk if it's safe or ride to the store. He wants ice cream. Like he wants to do daily stuff, and then he likes to just relax and just chill and not have to, and maybe sleep in once in a while. And he says he doesn't like to watch TV, but he does. And, he likes to read sometimes, right? He just he wants a chance to explore a few things and just relax, right? And
okay, thank you so much. And then Ms. Chapman, what is your position on all of that?
From the recovery management entity viewpoint, he is very compliant and has been at the state hospital with his medication, with his classes. That right there gives him a foot up because he is motivated to stay on course with his treatment. My recovery managers are more or less like intensive case managers. They will go meet with him however many hours of the day that is indicated by his level of need in his IRP. Mr. Bell, coming out of the state hospital, will need, in my opinion, 7 days a week, 2 hours a day, intensive case management with my recovery managers, who are all credentialed, licensed, master. Some of them are social workers, some of them are nurses, but they have all the training for mental health. They can help him bridge his day-to-day social needs and guide him and keep him on track. We help him schedule psych evaluations, anything that he may need to stay compliant.
And how often would he be reevaluated?
Every 3 months is his IRP. So we are the first line of defense. Even if there is some issue, the group home manager, which Miss Edith is over the group home, they will get in touch with the recovery manager. My recovery managers, as am I, are on call 24/7. So we are there for our clients hence Mr. Bell.
Okay. So with regard to, I'm sorry, go ahead. Did you have something else?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Okay, so, and let me, I'm gonna go through and then I know y'all probably will have some follow-ups, but I have some things I want to make sure I understand. And so, everybody's calling you Miss Edith, so I'm gonna call you Miss Edith as well. I think that's easier. With regard to the home itself, what type of supervision is there? Is it 24/7? What is that like?
Okay, so provider agency, our primary responsibility is to provide housing, a housing with 24-hour supervision, meaning there is an awake staff round the clock. It runs by shift. So we have, apart from the supervised living staff, we have other staffs also, depending on the services that are prescribed for him on the IRP prior to being discharged from the hospital. And now the services we have, apart from the housing with the care attendant that will be there 24/7, that will cook and provide 3 square meals, snacks when needed, or making sure that medications are given and manage medications. There's also nurse on board that that will be seeing him at least 3 times a week, if not 5 times a week. The nurse will make sure that he's continuously being medication compliant, and will also be continuously educating him in case of, any kind of substance, indulging in any kind of substance abuse. The nurse will be able to continuously educating him on the implications of that. We're not expecting that, but just in case it happens. And then we have other therapists on board. He's going to be receiving psychosocial rehabilitation services. So the psychosocial rehab provider will make sure that he reintegrates back into the community in the most effective and safe way. So things like making sure that his social security income is reactivated, or even assessing stores or whatever community resources that might help him in maintaining independence and stabilizing in the community. Psychosocial rehab person will be able to continuously assist him with that, transporting him and all that. Then there will be a therapist, counselor. We call that service community psychiatric and support treatment. So it's mainly a therapy for individuals with severe mental illness. So the therapist will be able to see him at least twice a week. Apart from that, we also have SOD, which he's going to receive because he had a substance abuse issues in the past before being hospitalized. That's the information we gathered. So we also have substance use disorder therapists that will be working with him, and just to make sure he doesn't slack back to doing substance again. He indicated.
Sorry, will there be regular testing?
You were breaking. I'm sorry.
Will there be regular drug testing?
Most likely with the acting, the Andrews Center, yes.
With what, I'm sorry?
Most likely, I'm saying most likely there will be.
Okay.
Up. Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear me, Donna?
Uh-huh.
Did you hear the last thing I said?
That most likely there would be substance abuse testing. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes. If you order it, then he will be going for it continuously.
Okay.
But we can't force him if there is no order.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then he also indicated that he would like to have some employment. So we'll have employment service staff that will assist him to acquire an employment, and also help him. He can be with him on the job the first month to make sure that he, is able to maintain that employment. So there are more services that I can't even discuss right now because of your time, but I'm just trying to let you know that Bethany Living has been with HCBS AMH program from the inception. States designed this program to minimize recidivism, going back and forth to jail and continuously committing those crimes. So the program has been existing for at least 10 years, and we're the pioneers. And from all the information I gathered from the hospital, he will be a good candidate to succeed very well in the community, just like we've served over 100 of participants in this program. And I bet on what we received from Rock State Hospital that he would do well in the community.
How many patients, I guess, for lack of a better word, would be living at the placement where he would be going, if I allow that?
Right now, it would be 3 at most.
3 at most?
That particular house, yes.
Mr. Parker?
Yes, Ms. Edith. So, a couple concerns. I think you're the right one. Will he have restrictions on like curfews when he has to be back home, or how does that work?
We do have house rules, but sometimes judges put it in their order, by what time he must be in the house. So that way the individual understands that this is a court order. It's not something that you can violate and just get a simple talking to. Yeah,
Right.
but we do have a curfew, and our curfew is to be back to the home by 9 p.m.
Right. And as far as the service that he needs, I understand that you're going to work with the hospital about what he actually needs. And I assume that will be provided to him at the house on a regular basis, as is prescribed by whomever says what he needs. Is that correct?
I'm not sure I understood your.
Well,
Sorry.
he's going to need some type of treatment, continuing treatment, and different types of therapy that we've talked about. I assume whatever.
Right.
Okay, I think it's Lisa.
Miss Chapman.
Miss Chapman. I think Miss Chapman has the answer for that.
Let me break in and try and tie it all together. We are under Spindletop, which is the local LMHA there in Beaumont. So whatever Spindletop identifies Mr. Bell to receive, along with the RM that does the IRP with Spindletop, with whoever is the case manager for Mr. Bell at Spindletop, we as an RM entity will sit in with conjunction with Spindletop and design what services Mr. Bell needs. We then turn them in to Medicare. They go to Miss Edith, and he is awarded those services based on what he needs.
Okay. One last thing. I would assume it's an issue him moving to a totally new environment and how he will adjust to that. Is that taken into account as well? Or is that really, you think it is an issue?
May I address that? Because that's one of the things that we teach in class while they're here is the transition and what is required for them and what they can expect from where they are now to where they'd be going. And the members of HCBS, members of that team did come up and see him in person, right? And before he discharges, we can arrange to have a Teams meeting or a Zoom meeting to have him see the staff again before he discharges, so he knows who he's going to be seeing in the home. So we do make that happen and make the transition as easy as possible for them. But we also show pictures of where they're going to be going, so it's not a brand new experience. So we do that as well. And I go over the court rules a lot. Like I don't know specific court rules, but I know most of them, they're similar, right? HCBS has rules, right? And they do know, like, don't leave the county without a permission, right? And they do know they have curfews, just like they do where they are here. So yes, sir, we go over all of that.
Okay, that's all I have.
Ms. Molfino, any questions for any of them?
Just a couple, if I may, and I don't know
And you probably scoot over so they can see you.
who to direct this to.
And that's the microphone, so make sure you,
Okay.
there you go.
Am I understanding correctly that medication compliance will be monitored by the nurse, and that would only be 3 times a week?
3 times a week is pretty much like maintaining. So when they initially discharge from the hospital is at least 5 times a week. So as they improve and stabilize, it might be cut down to 3 times a week.
Okay. And forgive the question, just as a representative of the state, I feel I need to ask, what protocols or programs do you have in place, or guidelines do you have in place should these individuals, especially those that have been charged for the underlying offense involving aggravating circumstances such as a deadly weapon, what type of guidelines are in place should they violate the rules, should they abscond from their placement at the Bethany house, things of that nature? I know it would probably go above and beyond to ask for a GPS with somebody with limited resources in the program, but do you work with local agencies, et cetera, keeping them abreast of the fact that these individuals are residing at your location, what their underlying charge was, although quite some time ago, just in case there is an issue with respect to community safety?
Yes, ma'am, we do. For example, my RM had an issue with one of the clients in another county, and we work closely with the court system on mental health warrants to get them back in to the state hospital.
Okay, that's all I have for you.
So I want to follow up real quick about the medication. And I think, Ms. Edith, so the staff that's there 24 hours a day, is that the person who would actually be dispensing medication? Is the person that is there every day? Or is the client given their own medication to take when they're supposed to take it?
No, it is the staff, the CNA, that is responsible for administering medications. And those CNAs are delegated by the RNs that see them weekly. Yeah. So medications are stored in double lock storage, meaning it has to be locked, for example, in a cabinet, and then also in a locked room. So the medications are not managed by the participants themselves.
So I could find out realistically within a day or two if Mr. Bell was refusing medicine or not taking medicine. I wouldn't have to wait till the nurse came later that week. That person at the facility could let someone else know that could let me know immediately. Is that correct?
Yes, if he refuses medication, he will notify the nurse, notify me, notify all his therapists. So it will be something that needs to be addressed. Everybody will address it right away, start addressing it. Yeah, but we haven't had an instance that the individual continuously refuse medication. But yeah, we were able to catch it because it will be at least 5 or 6 professionals that will be addressing it at the same time, and his doctor also will be contacted.
And it's not only the PA agency, but it is the RM daily that checks on everything to make sure he's compliant with his meds, with all his classes, with whoever he is scheduled to meet with. So everything lines up.
And I had another person, is it Miss Burton? Is she part of this? No. Teresa Burton, does she? Might be. Is that for something else? No. Do any of you know who a Teresa Burton is? Is that somebody that's working with you guys on the case?
State Hospital, she's one of our court coordinators. She was making sure we're all here today. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, she is? Okay, perfect. She's just making sure they're all there. Everybody's here. Okay. And part of the reason we're going through this, I know Ms. Molfino and I both have kind of lived through a couple where we've had two that were allowed to be released, and neither of them went very well. And we ended up with one in another county on a bus, and luckily finding him and him getting arrested and back in Rusk. But so I just it's something that gives me a lot of pause, and I want to make sure I have all the information before I make any decision. What I did do and what I would like to probably do in this case that I did in the previous case is I went myself with the attorneys and looked at the facility with one of them where we didn't like that facility and chose we did something different. So what I might do is get with Miss Edith. Probably you'd be the best one to get me going to maybe meet me at that facility with the attorneys so we can all place our eyes on it and really see where it is and what we think about it before I make a final decision. Is that something you'd be willing to do, ma'am?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so what we'll do is at this time, I'm not going to make a final decision. We'll get that done within the next week or two at the most. We'll get something coordinated where we can just run over real quick. We won't take much time. But I would, if I'm gonna make a decision, then I want to see exactly what I'm looking at and where he's going and things like that. So I'll get that set up with Mr. Parker and Ms. Malfino if they'd like to come, and then I'll make a decision and let everybody know within maybe 2 weeks or so. All right. Thank you all very much. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge West.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
too.